Okay, well, we will get this meeting started. I call to order the City of Travelers Council Committee meeting for Monday, February the 10th. We have a crowd here tonight, and I have an opening statement, and then we will jump into city business. I do appreciate people coming tonight. We always appreciate a crowd, but I do want to address the ongoing discussions regarding development around Paris Mountain. While I appreciate everyone's passion for the community, I do need to speak directly about some concerning behaviors we have witnessed. One of our goals as council members is to lead with kindness and respect. Respect not only for our citizens, but our planning process, but also for each other as human beings. Recently, we've seen concerning actions, including hostile social media posts targeting city officials and staff, unauthorized use of accident victim photos, and attempts to disrupt city operations. Many of these attacks have taken a city matter that has appropriate protocol and opportunity for concerned citizens to speak to these matters and made them personal, not only towards the elected officials, but innocent parties as well. These tactics undermine the very values that make our community strong and border on harassment. I want to be clear, there's currently no development application filed with the city regarding Paris Mountain. Our city prides itself on conducting business through established processes. Since no application has been filed, no city council member or planning commission member can comment on the potential development. When and if such an application is submitted, it will first go through the planning commission with full opportunity for public input. If you have constructive concerns and feedback, that meeting will be the appropriate time to voice them, not before. This meeting will be in person so that when thoughts and ideas are shared, we all remember that we are speaking to each other as humans and not posting our angry thoughts online without consideration of others. Our community makes the best decisions when we work together with civility and mutual respect. Intimidation tactics will not influence our established procedures or benefit anyone's cause. The potential development, because no application has been filed with the city, is not on tonight's agenda and will not be discussed. You're welcome to stay and observe tonight's regular city business proceedings, provided you do so respectfully. If you do not wish to stay, please feel free to exit now. Thank you. All right, on committee meeting night, we talk about committees. So first we'll start with our Public Works Committee. We have Chair Lane.
I call the Public Works Committee to order. Present are myself, Catherine James, and Sherry Mara. Do I have a motion to approve the January 6th Public Works minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
And Director Tate.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a couple of things I want to highlight. We are having a glass recycling event this coming Saturday from 9 to 12. This is part of our ongoing pilot program with Brickell Lodge. And last event, we had over 100 cars and collected around 6,000 pounds of glass. South Carolina Emergency Management, our rep was here last week, and Sergeant Donnelly and myself met with them over some grant opportunities for the public works and police and fire potentially. We're at 90% complete on debris removals from city property and right-of-way. We'll be finishing up on Main Street hopefully in a couple of weeks with some new trees going in up there to replace the ones that were damaged. We'll be putting out an RFP this week for that work to begin, and the MLK litter pickup was a huge success on a cold day there in January. So we collected over 60 bags of litter and had over 60 volunteers. So we're glad to take any questions at this time.
Was that our biggest volunteer for litter pickup?
It's probably one of the biggest for last year. Or
North Greenville and Furman, right?
Yeah, it was North Greenville and Furman. Great. And with the temperature around, 18 to 20 degrees, that was a huge turnout for that. So
we thank you all for that.
Yep.
So
thank you.
Do we have any questions from the committee for Director Tate?
I do. Director Tate, when will your team start taking over the maintenance of the Poinsett Park and the other Gateway Park?
The plan is right now for us to take it over the 1st of April. It'll come on to us 1st of April. Some of the public works staff will be shadowing or working with Greenville County Recs the entire month of March to kind of get familiar with the protocols and the standards that we'll be going into.
Thank you.
I had one. For the glass recycling, I'm so excited that it's back. Do we have limits? Like, I know the first one we had like a 2-bag. And also, do we have another one planned in March? I know we talked about that, to kind
We
of
do,
shoot that
we
date
do.
out.
I've already, talked with the provider, for the event in March. It's gonna be around the same time, and there is a, I wanna say a 2-bag limit. That's what was posted out. Just bring the glass and we'll make accommodations to get it where it needs to go.
Can you update us on the Poinsett Streetscape project and how that's going?
I was out there last week, the end of last week. We've got some curb and gutter and sidewalks going in. They are planning to they went from Hart Street down to Tubbs Mountain Extension, and they have crossed over and they're going back towards 25 in the opposite direction with, the demolition and the replacement of the sidewalk on the opposite side. So it's moving along considering the weather. We got some rain coming in, so I'm sure there'll be some delays coming up, but it's looking very nice out there.
Does anyone on council have any questions?
Philip, to kind of go along with what Catherine said, I was asking about the parks. How did Gateway, how did it fare through the storm? And has Greenville County, since hadn't turned it over yet, have they picked up what refuse is there?
I think the majority of the debris that was there, I think it fared pretty well, just kind of deep on the backside with some stuff that was down. And I'll be following up with Greenville County Rec before, the transition's made to kind of come to an agreement of what's left and what we'll be picking up. Thank you, sir.
The tree back there beside the basketball courts, it looks like it's half personal residence and then half county and
That's the one that
soon to
came
be
off the,
city.
I think it came off the property at number 5 Center Street.
Yeah.
I think, or close to the property line. And that's one I want to talk to Ty about because it's completely over on the county rec side and
Oh,
that
yeah.
it's a large, very large tree.
Yeah, it's so close to the basketball courts and just like the trail getting down to the court and the BMX track and stuff, so.
I'll be following up with them.
Any other questions? Have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Lane. Thanks, Philip. All right, we have our Public Safety Committee Chair Byers.
Call to order the Public Safety Committee. Present are myself, Shanice Chris, Wayne McCall, Sherry Mara, and Brantley Vest. Do we have a motion to approve the January 6th Public Safety minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Great, thank you. Okay, Captain Kelly, kick us off.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Y'all have the January monthly report. Other than the numbers that's on there, we have 3 openings right now currently. We interviewed on Friday 6 candidates. We each still have 2 on light duty. One officer is starting today, 4th week in the academy, so he should be out in about 5 weeks, and then he'll go through the 8 weeks FTO process.
Thank
Have any other questions for?
Does anyone on committee have questions for Captain Kelly?
I
About
was just
the-
going to ask to follow up on the Poinsett Highway project. Are y'all seeing any traffic issues or speed? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there anything that we should be aware of to
Right now, they
address?
can't speed on it too much because of all the
hopefully?
construction. So actually, it's helped a lot with,
Okay.
the accidents have gone down on Poinsett, and so the construction has slowed traffic down. So it's actually helped out on accidents and even pedestrian-wise too. Welcome.
And looking at the numbers regarding the activity at Walmart, I know a couple months ago when numbers were down, we said that there was a new manager or they were trying to find a new manager. Do you know if that person's been hired yet?
No, not yet, and what Walmart wound up doing was they brought in their regional loss prevention manager to help assist them right now with theft, so probably within the near future, they'll get someone trained for that position.
Just looking for context of these numbers. Great, thank you. Does anyone on council have questions for Captain
I
Kim?
actually have a question for him. Tim, how is, has Lieutenant Aiken, has he heard pro con about the bill that he has been working with some of our legislators on?
It's, he's heard a lot of great feedback. He's done a great job with it, and matter of fact, a lot of other departments around the state have sought assistance from him to help
Piggybacked off of that?
piggyback
Yeah.
off of laws that they want to enact in place to go through Congress as well. So he's done a great job with that.
That's something, that you don't think about something like that happening, but, you know, when it does, you know, you need to be able to have something to control that, so.
Yes, definitely.
I
Captain,
appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
I know you guys are doing a recruiting push. Do you want to tell us a little bit about, I saw some social media posts and what else you guys are doing for recruitment?
Yeah, we're visiting Greenville Tech with a job fair there. We're also going to do one with North Greenville, their job fair. And so hopefully that'll turn out well.
Yep.
We hope so. Keep our fingers crossed.
And did I also see that we've got some vehicles that we're getting ready to put officers in very soon?
Yes, sir. We got 6 Tahoes. Because of equipment and radios and other things, usually it takes a good 2-3 months before all the equipment comes in. They're on backlog for all the other police departments also. So hopefully by May, they'll be fully outfitted and we'll distribute those onto the department.
Got them, we just can't use them yet.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And we got several that's pushing 10 years old, so we'll drop those to spare vehicles and use the new ones in the fleet.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Captain. All right, Chief McMakin.
All right.
Good evening.
Hello.
First, are there any questions about our monthly report? I do want to highlight one thing on there. There's 37 calls in the Furman area this month. That's a little higher than normal. There's not really there's cooking is the bigger thing with Furman. The students seem to burn a lot of food, so just getting a little smoke out. We haven't really had a fire there, but that's a little higher number than we normally have. Anybody got any questions on the report?
Do we include the Woodlands in that figure?
Yeah, it's Furman areas included. There's actually 14 calls at the Woodlands and 23 on Furman campus.
Gotcha.
Is what that breaks down to. Most of the Woodland stuff is EMS calls. There's, I think, probably 2 or 3 of them that were cooking things or something else set the alarm off. But yeah, it's a total of 37 calls just for that. So yeah, I think our total number last month was 100 and calls. Yeah, 120 calls, that's about normal for a month.
To that same defined area?
Yeah. Well, yeah, the whole city and with that area involved, too, is 120 calls. That's about normal for a month, so.
When you get those 120 calls, is it mostly medical or fire typically?
It varies. I mean, usually it's about 60% medical calls, and 40% either alarms or fire calls of whatever nature. Usually it's about 60-40 is what it runs. Also, you have a pamphlet that's on your desk that shows our last year in review. Captain Adam Little keeps up with that for me, and he printed that out for you. At your leisure, just read through that. If you got any questions, shoot me an email or let me know, and we can answer your questions. Just to highlight a couple of things, we did have 2 openings last month. We filled both of those positions. They actually start Tuesday, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Both of them are fully certified, ready to go. So they just got to learn our equipment, learn our ways, but we don't have to send them to school or do anything. They're ready to go. In fact, both of them actually have a lot more than we had on the application. Both of them's got at least 6 years worth of experience. We were lucky to get those 2. Let's see. Since Philip's back here, Philip Tate and Larry Herman both went to Fire Inspector 2 class. It's a really hard class, okay? I mean, it takes a lot of effort to get through it. Both of them got through that, passed with flying colors, so we have 2 more Fire Inspector 2s. So that's a pretty good deal. I don't know what it is, we're a magnet for groups the last 2 months. We've had homeschoolers, we have kindergartners, we've had 3rd graders, and I've probably got 4 on my desk right now, all the way up to Tigerville Elementary School that's one that comes to the station. We do have something to offer that a lot of places don't, because Captain Kelly and us, we kind of split the thing. They come up to the police station for a little while, and then they come down to the fire station. We split them up. No, so most fire departments don't have a police station, so they get to see both sides of it.
Great.
That's about all I got.
Great. Does
That's all.
anyone on council have questions for Mac? Wonderful,
have-
thank you.
Thank
Can
you.
Sorry. Can I
Oh,
ask a quick
sorry.
question? Sorry. So kind of what Shanice was asking, so the EMS, so the additional like 100 and, well, about 200 calls, is that proportionate among EMS and fire as well, too? Okay.
It is. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Shannon, is there anything you'd like to highlight on the building permit report or the municipal court report?
Chair Byers, I do have 2 things to highlight. Regarding the building department report, we have about 20 homes that are under construction in the White Hawk Meadows development. We also had a couple commercial constructions renovations, both at Furman University and the Woodlands, so that you see that reflected in your building report. Regarding the municipal court report, we will be putting out an advertisement for a second night judge, so that Judge Twitty will not have the 24/7 call rotating any longer. You'll see that come out towards the end of this week. That will be for 2 weeks of the month.
Wonderful. Does anyone on committee have questions about either of those reports? Anyone on council? Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Moving along, Planning and Development Committee, Chair Vest.
All right, call to order the Planning and Development Committee meeting for February. Looking for a motion to approve our January 6 minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Let me just go back. Committee members present, myself, Brantley Vest, Grant Baumgardner, Kelly Byers, Dr. Shanice Chris, and Sherry Mara. Okay, review of the January Planning and Development Report. I don't see anything new on the report, but Shannon, if you would like to highlight anything on the report before we move on.
Chair Vest, the only thing I would highlight is that Pinestone Warehouse area plans have been approved, permits have not been issued yet, and the land disturbance has not begun yet. I believe there was an expectation that that would have started in January, but we're still waiting for that. There is no BZA meeting tomorrow, and Planning Commission will meet on February 25th.
Perfect, thank you for that update. Any questions on the development report before we move on to a zoning ordinance request? All right,
It's
so.
not about the report. Was there something on the agenda for BZA tomorrow that has been removed? Okay, great.
All right, so I'm going to make a motion to send the request TR 25-01 RZ to rezone 305 Highway 25 North from R15 and C2 commercial to C2 commercial for council consideration.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Grant. Just as a bit of background before we get into conversation, the applicant, Volsetti LLC, has applied to rezone at 305 Highway 25 North. This parcel is both R15 and C2. Your guess is as good as mine why that is, but the request here is to go that whole parcel to C2. The Planning Commission discussed the recommendation and voted to pass it at 5-2. That was the vote total, 5-2. They did hold a community meeting. It doesn't look like anybody showed up to the community meeting, but they did hold a community meeting. Shannon, anything you'd want to add to that before we have some discussion?
Chair Vest, the only thing that I would note are some of the comments that were in the planning director's report, that the zoning is in keeping with the TR comprehensive plan, The road frontage is appropriate and suitable for C2. It is in the scenic overlay district, which includes commercial uses, and it appears that there is sufficient sewer and water capacity. And there were 2 conditions to the recommendation, that number 1, it would be subject to all requirements of the TR zoning ordinance, and number 2, that the signage would require a separate permit.
Thank you. All right, anyone on,
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
For context, what is this beside?
Rite Aid, the.
Okay, that
it's a-
little,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha,
Right
okay.
in back behind it.
It's, if you're on 25 facing Rite Aid, it's to the left.
Okay, got it.
Back behind the residential houses right
Correct,
there.
yeah.
Great, thank you.
It's kind of that, it's an interesting parcel, but it's mostly woods right now, right?
Where's
And
the?
Chair Best, I'm sorry, I
Go
just
ahead.
wanted to let you know that the applicant is here tonight.
Yes, Mr. Pulsini.
And it'd be worth noting that there is an easement from State Park Road back to that property to begin with.
Okay.
As it stands right now.
Where's the access? Like the street access to this property?
It's got it, yeah, there is none. It's an easement off of State Park Road. I guess, well, is it Walnut Lane or State Park? Is it through Rite Aid?
I believe it.
Like it's on 25, not on Walnut, so I'm just curious about road access.
So, do we know where the easement is or the access point is?
I do not see the easements in the paperwork that I have in front of me, Chair Best, I apologize.
No, it's all good.
I can tell you exactly where the easement is. It's, the rear parking area of the old Rite Aid building.
Yes.
That easement, if you were there, you'd see a mailbox right there. And that mailbox is for that house that sits to that would be the northern point of that property. You go right behind the Rite Aid property. There's a house back there, and that's an easement. That's a deeded easement, correct, Jim? No. It's not a deeded easement. Across Walgreens. That's what I was talking about, Walgreens. That's right.
My property does not.
And just for context too, the southern end of this property is currently C2, the northern end is R12.
Right.
I think the C2 is a better fit for this property, for sure.
Can I ask a question? I know Jay's not here. I think some of my concern is losing, like, once it's C2, it's C2. So thinking of if development is going to come on this, we just lose the ability to manage. Like, if it was flexible design, then we'd have more control over like where the easement. I'm like, once we do this, it's kind of stuck in it. I think that's my main concern. Is there a development coming to it? Or is this just a rezoning to rezone it and sell it, or just to clean it up? Do we know?
Mayor Amadon, the application does not note of development. It says that it's vacant and has no current plan.
No, and that's one of the things, like with a flexible design, then we would know what was coming. We would have some more control about easements and where everything is going. I think that's my hesitation with rezoning to C2, just losing that control for that, yeah. Chair Vest.
Please, sure.
Sure. Sure. And we have seen zoning with a condition of a sale, like, you know, it's rezoned and the sale kind of goes along with the rezoning, but
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Anyone else on committee have questions about the request to rezone?
Do we know why the 2 voted against it, what their rationale was?
Do you have any notes on that?
Notes from the Planning Commission.
We'll get that for you, Kelly. We'll compile some notes on if there were statements made about the no votes.
So Brandy, are you recommending any conditions?
I would rather see it a flexible design review. I just don't particularly like it just going to C2. We just never know, like, if he sells this property and the Rite Aid, it'd all be C2 and we would have no control over what the development would look like. I think
But
that's my
it's-
concern.
It's already C2, half of it.
No, but like, for example, we were talking about a grocery store coming into town, they wanted more than 3 acres, and so I could see someone wanting the Rite Aid plus this property in order to make a development. If it's all C2, well, they can put whatever they want on it. Just trying to think forward on that. I mean, that's a major intersection right there, too. I'm open to thoughts.
What's the size of the properties together? Do we have that
Councilmember Mara, it's 1.99 acres.
for both of them together?
The entire parcel is
Yeah.
1.99 acres.
What wants to be rezoned is the 1.9, gotcha.
I would say, well, yeah, I mean, I'm just roughly looking, it looks like less than half is C2 currently, right? Okay.
Shannon, does this require 2 readings
Yes.
for acceptance?
Yes, sir.
So we can, with Jay not here tonight, we can get some
Yes.
additional explanation on this next week when
Yeah,
we gather
background
again.
next week and then 2 readings following.
Exactly, so we've got to
Correct.
have 2 readings anyway.
Yeah. Anyone on council have questions about this rezoning?
And we could make amendments if you wanted to for next time after we get the information.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, conditions, amendments, whatever we need, yeah, and additional background, I think would be helpful too before next Thursday. All right. If no other question or discussion, we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion
No?
Did you have your motion
Don't
to?
we need-
Got a vote to send it.
to send
Oh,
it on.
okay,
Second,
yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead, Brandon, you want to call that? All right, let's vote. We have a motion and a second. So all those approved to send to council for consideration for rezoning. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brantley.
Still need the motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion.
Second?
Thank you.
All right, Ways and Means Committee, Chair Baumgartner.
I call the Ways and Means Committee together to order. Grant Baumgartner, myself, Kelly Byers, Lisa Lane, Wayne McCall, and Brantley Vest are all present. I would entertain a motion to approve the January 6th Ways and Means minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Does anybody on committee have questions at all? Right, hearing none, we have no other business before Ways and Means Committee. About a,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
thank you.
All right, old business, we have none. New business, we have none. Miscellaneous matters. Shannon Herman, do you have an administrative update for us?
Mayor Odlund, thank you very much. Yes, I do. Very excited to tell you that we released the Beyond the Borough Bunny sculptures, art sculptures, at the beginning of last week, and we are fully sponsored for all 6 sculptures. So that was at $1,500 per rabbit to help with a local artist to meet with the sponsor and work with the sponsor to tell a story and work with the city for approval and placement. So very excited to see these public arts installations popping up. That should happen sometime in April. Also wanted to let you know that all the bands have been selected for Music in the Park concert series. And so we are beginning to look forward to summer and all of the activities and motions that will begin in May. We will have our next Thrive employee meeting in February 18th, and Betsy Stiefel will come to us from the Bank of TR to talk about personal financial wellness. And finally, we did put out an RFP for a for compensation study, and it closed today. We had over 12 respondents to that.
And I know we have Beth in the audience, who is the creative and artistic brain of the city. So thank you for all of our projects. It's really fun, and the music series is great. All right, does anyone on council have anything for the good of council?
Motion to adjourn.
All right, second.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Thank you for coming. We appreciate it.